I'm not going to alter anything today, are you? A little wind?
We'll see. I don't think so, but we were talking about it earlier. It was raining earlier. I think the fields are going to be okay. So as of right now, we'll go as scheduled.
Just wanted to make sure that Friday, Martinez, Weathers, Screw.
First three, yeah.
What are the logistics of Matt Carpenter, where he's going to work this spring? And I imagine if he's going to be in the outfield, it probably won't be with a long-term goal. It would be for those first 20 games more so.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to break him in the infield here. We talked a little bit yesterday. I don't, with the guys that we have here, I don't feel a need to put him in the outfield at this point. Maybe later in spring, we'll see how it goes, but it's probably going to be mostly at first, DH, maybe a little bit of third, and kind of simplified for him in spring here.
Would you be comfortable with him in right for some of those first 20 or so?
Just depends on, once we get closer, we play quite a few games and get to where there's a light at the end of the tunnel to when the season starts. If there's a need for it, I might, but I also want to keep him healthy, and I want to keep him in spots that he's a little bit more familiar with.
What do you make of the number of kind of quality relief options that you have, and the number of spots available doesn't seem to be very many?
It doesn't. So, and then, Drew Pomerantz is on the horizon too, and we'll see where we go with him at the end of spring. So, look, health component in spring training, you want to get through healthy, but if all goes well, it's not difficult to forecast what the bullpen's going to look like, less one spot. If we do go with a 6-man rotation, then, the guys in the bullpen, 7-man bullpen, guys are going to have to throw multiple innings. You do typically need a spot that you can flip out a little bit. If someone comes in and has to cover 3 or 4 innings one day. So keeping that spot open could be, beneficial to us. But, man, there are a lot of quality guys that we have to draw from in the bullpen.
What's the plan with Hamels? What's the realistic expectation of his readiness?
Yeah, we're going to take it day to day with him. You're not going to see him in a spring training game. He's not to that point. He's probably a little bit later on in the season, but it's nice to be able to pick up depth like that, knowing that, later on, middle of the season, couple months in, whatever it might be, that you have somebody like him potentially to draw from, just adds to the depth. And certainly he's had a nice career, and he's pretty motivated to get back and pitch in the big leagues again.
Like you said yesterday that you were going to ease Fernando Tatis Jr. into spring training action, maybe not playing initially. How do you balance just the fact that, he's coming off 2 surgeries, right? But also he missed 2022 and he needs reps.
That's all part of it. And when speaking with him, we talked some yesterday about it. He wants to play yesterday, and he wants to play in the first game. He's not going to play in the first game. It'll be within the first week. But we want to make sure he does everything that he's going to have to acclimate to in games. There's a instinctual component to when you play, and we want to make sure that he, checks all the boxes, trying to slide feet first, get him diving back into first, doing a lot of things that he's going to have to. Okay, that's how that feels. And then once we get through all that, you'll see him in games. But he's ready to play in a game right now.
How will you split outfield time with shortstop time? I guess especially considering that he might be your only shortstop on the roster when everybody leaves for the Classic.
I think it's probably beneficial to just keep him in the outfield to start. We'll see once we get a little bit later in spring. I think, as far as health goes, a little less on his plate in the outfield than having to play shortstop. Like you said, he's been through a couple surgeries. He hasn't played in the game basically in 15 months. So, part of that easing him in probably is outfield exclusively to start.
I know it's early, but how does he look so far out there?
He looks great. I mean, it's remarkable to me. Now he's one of the great athletes in all sports, but for not playing as long as he has, to watch him take batting practice, watch him enthusiastically go after balls in the outfield. This is my first look firsthand on the same side with him, and I think it's been remarkable the progression he's made with the injuries that he's had.
Has he seemed willing?
He's had a smile on his face every day. Now look, he just wants to get back and play baseball. I mean, I can't go too deep into his head and what the future holds for him, but I think he's right now just thinking about the present and how he can help this team.
What does your associate manager doing different this year than when he was a bench coach?
Very little. Yeah, he has the same role, doing the same things, and a guy that I absolutely could not. You know, you watch how the spring training goes. Every field's being used. Everything's on time to the minute, and it's all because of his preparation. Things like that go unnoticed, almost like a good umpire or something like that. But everything goes so smoothly out in these fields because of the preparation, the hard work that Ryan Christensen puts into his job.
You managed a lot of games against Nelson Cruz. What are your first impressions of him?
You know, it was interesting. I first time he got here, walked up to him, I go, I bet you have more homers against me than any other manager in your career. And he looked at me and he goes, I think it's Socia, but you might be second. And he was right. He's got 50 off of Socia. He's got 31 off of me. So, look, he's done a lot of damage to the teams that I've been on in the past, and I'm just happy as heck to have him on our side. And I know he's happy about being here.
He's got a kind of busy. He's had a busy offseason preparing for the WBC and GM. Like, what do you kind of make of his ability to balance all of that?
It's quite the moonlighting, and he's on his phone after the workouts quite a bit, still trying to get. I think he's probably trying to get a role on that team, a consistent role on that team that he has. I don't know the general manager makes the lineup out, so he's with his experience in the game, he's able to handle both of those things, and he's done everything we've asked him and more here in camp. He's taking ground balls at first. I saw him taking outfield reps with the outfielders off the machine. He wants to get himself in good shape and get ready for a season.
You still outrank him in there, even though he's got a general manager title?
I do here. Once the uniform comes off, probably not. Yeah.
Just had a quick logistical question about Tatis. When the season starts, is that a situation where he'd be like an extended spring here? Would he stay on the field or anything?
I'm not sure what we're looking at as far. I know he can play minor league games, so I'm not 100% sure what we're going to do with him.
Friday lineup, will it be pretty star-studded?
It will. Yep. Not completely, but it'll have a lot of WBC players in it.
Going for the Cactus League crown.
Well, when they're gone, so you try to win as many games as you can early on. No, but it gives us an opportunity when they're gone to see some of the other guys that we have here in camp. But it'll look a little different once they leave. Put it that way.